Hello, welcome to Curry Talks. I'm Andres Haas, and this is the program where we learn more about people in the Curry community. Today's guest is Coach Peter Woundy. He is the new head coach of the 12th ranked Curry College men's hockey team. And he is here to talk about his arrival at Curry and what to expect for the men's hockey season. Welcome, Coach.
Thank you.
So originally you are from Connecticut, but you spent seasons as an assistant coach at Becker, Trinity, and most recently Holy Cross. What brought you to come coach at Curry?
So when I was finishing up at Holy Cross last spring, this job came open more towards the early part of the summer, and it had a lot of things that I was looking for. I've been an assistant coach for 11 years, and I was looking kind of for the next step in my career, and looking to become. It's always been a goal of mine to become a head coach, and Curry has everything that I was looking for. I have a lot of experience with the program dating back to when I was playing at Stonehill College. We played against Curry, and they were always a very strong program. And then throughout the years, I've known people who have gone here and had a really good experience and have followed the program, and it's had a lot of success. And then once I went through the interview process and met with the athletic director, Vinnie Eruzione, and President Quigley, and the players, it was obvious there was a lot of support for the program institutionally, and then there was a lot of excitement around the team in terms of what we feel we could accomplish this season with the players returning and the players coming in as freshmen.
Fully agree. What brought you to come? Oh, sorry, I had to ask that. That's amazing. Well, I know I love the school, and I hope that you come to feel this way too. At the time of this taping, the team is 8-1, and the United States College Hockey Online has you ranked at 13. How do you feel to be off to a start like this in your first season as a head coach?
It's exciting. I wouldn't have predicted it necessarily, but it's a great group of guys. They love playing the game of hockey. They love being with each other, and they're hungry to get better. And as a head coach, especially in my first year, it's nice to have a lot of returners. I think we have 11 seniors on the team this year, 11 or 12. So we've got a lot of guys that have played a lot of college hockey and have a lot of experience. And for me, as a first-year head coach, it's nice to be able to rely on those guys and they know what to expect on a daily basis in terms of how we want to work and how we want to prepare. And it's been a lot of fun. Didn't necessarily expect us to be in the top 15, but I knew we had the talent to compete for a championship. But it's a credit to the guys for putting in the work thus far and playing the way we want to play to get us to this point inside the top 15, and hopefully we can keep climbing.
That's fantastic. I know the fans are hoping this is a sign of a great future. Your life has led to a lot of time spent in the hockey world. So how did these experiences prepare you for your first head coaching job?
I've had some incredible mentors throughout my 11 years coaching, and even previous to that playing. Some great coaches growing up in youth hockey in high school and college that kind of instilled in me the desire to coach, and then the guys and coaches that I've worked for so far have been incredible mentors and leaders for me to rely on. Steve Horace Becker, who unfortunately is no longer with us, passed away about 5 years ago. He gave me my start in college hockey, and he coached with a lot of passion and energy, and he was an older guy, but he had a lot of fun and had a lot of experience.
Thank you. Well, it looks like we're out of time. We'll have to wrap it up. Thank you so much for joining us. And I'm Andres Haas, and welcome to another edition of Curry Talks.
Hello and welcome to Curry Talks. I'm Noah Bartholomew and this is a program where we learn more about members of our Curry community. Today's guest is Christian King, an executive chef here at the dining hall. He's here to talk about how COVID-19 has affected the dining hall. Welcome, Chef Christian.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here.
So we know that COVID's affected pretty much the day-to-day, back and forth, but most people don't really get to see what it's like behind the scenes. Now that we're seeing the rolling back of some of these decisions being made about COVID restrictions at the college, a lot of people are interested to see what's happening in the dining hall. With more tables means more people, more space. The real question for you is, what were some of the COVID mandates going on behind the scenes in the kitchen?
Well, working in a kitchen, especially our kitchen, considering we serve 17,000 meals a week, it's very difficult to stay away from each other. And right off the bat last fall, we had a 6-foot mandate. And my fellow managers and I would walk around the kitchen and all day long, basically telling people, you need to 6 feet, 6 feet, 6 feet. Does it work? Not really, but we did our best with it. There were many new cleaning procedures, and obviously everything went to plastic, and even things as trivial as the condiments, you went away from the pumps where everyone was touching them with their hands to the small portion control packets.
Yeah. Well, now that some of these mandates are rolling back, first of all, we're really excited to have sort of these pumps back. I miss those a lot. Now that some of these mandates are rolling back, can you talk about what is new coming to the dining room or what's old returning?
Well, the past couple weeks have been extremely busy, especially for me. We've had, each station has gotten its own special. Forenzi, where the pizza station is, and the pasta station, it now has a daily casserette, which I believe one day it's sausage, one day it's meatball. The deli has a special sandwich every day. Flame, which is our grill station, has a special every day. One day it's a patty melt, which is a burger and a grilled cheese. One day it's a quesadilla. Auto station has gotten some new items versus last year. Auto station, we didn't want people waiting in line, and as we all know, he's very popular. So I had to put like soup to go over there instead of having buffalo chicken pasta, which they do have tonight, by the way.
Oh, let's go. Word. Well, we're all really excited about that. So now that we've talked about sort of the COVID mandates, how did food preparation change? And can you sort of describe the process behind the grab and go meal process?
What do you mean when you say grab and go?
So we talked a little bit earlier behind the scenes about prepackaged stuff. Yeah.
Quarantine meals.
Quarantine meals, that's what we're calling
quarantine meals. So food preparation, last year, I could not stand this far away from you. I'd have to be at an entirely separate table. This year, we still have quarantine meals, unfortunately. I know we are a vaccinated campus, but it is still out there. So our quarantine meals come in a black plastic container. It is microwavable. We prepare the meal down there. We cool it down to under 40 degrees. And then one of our managers wears a special mask and goes into the quarantine dorm. And that's how that works. But the meal itself is in a black plastic container. And what we found was, in the beginning, I was not happy with the way they looked. I think that, the students here they spend a lot of money to go to this school, so the meals need to look as though you were walking into a Whole Foods or a Wegmans. And you also need to put a lot of thought into the meals, such as, is the person gluten-free? Do they eat fish? Do they not eat fish? Is the fish going to smell up the container when you open it? So the meals need to be pretty much cookie cutter. It's got to be like a turkey, vegetable, potato, that type of thing. And as far as, the sandwiches, you can't get crazy, again, ham, cheese, that type of thing. We do special requests, but again, student in the quarantine dorm would have to reach out to Curry College, who would then reach out to us. That's how it works.
Word. Well, I'm really glad that we've had this chance to sort of sit down and talk about them. I'm definitely excited about this buffalo chicken pasta tonight, and I want to thank you so much for being on the show. This has been another edition of Curry Talks. Make sure you come to the dining hall tonight for buffalo chicken pasta and every other night for some of the amazing food that you're now seeing live.
Great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Good afternoon and welcome to Curry Talks. I'm Chris Wilder and this is the program where members of the Curry community learn more about each other. Today's guest is Anya Dickman. She is a junior biochemistry major here at Curry and a member of the college's Student Government Association. Today she will help us learn more about what SGA is and what they do on campus. Welcome, Anya.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So, I understand that this is your second semester sitting on student government. Can you tell us a little about what SGA is and what they do on campus?
Yeah, so SGA is the Student Government Association, and we are the voice for students, and we really communicate with the college, and we are responsible for changing policies and creating events.
Wow, it sounds like SGA does a lot on campus. What was it specifically that made you want to join SGA?
Well, my roommate was in SGA before I was, and because of COVID, they were on Zoom, so I got to hear a little bit about it, and so I really noticed how much of a difference they made, and I want to be a part of the difference.
I know that a few years ago, SGA helped to change mid-campus residence halls from a dry side into the wet side. Are there any issues or proposals SGA is currently working on?
Currently, we are working on gender-neutral housing and trying to make suites a more welcoming place, especially for those who might not be able to make the 6-person minimum. And we are also working on for the women's bathrooms, creating trash cans in each of the stalls and making free feminine products there.
So you mentioned that SGA had helped host events for students. Can you tell us a little bit about what events you've hosted?
So some events we've hosted were the Halfway There barbecue for our junior class, and that was really fun. We had a waffle truck, and we really had like a luau theme with like chicken sandwiches. We had a cornhole tournament, and it was so great. And then we are hosting a movie event where we will be having a waffle truck again and playing The Grinch.
That sounds very fun. Are there any events you are planning for this semester or next for us to look forward to?
Well, next semester we do have a lot in plan. We are very open to hearing about what other students want to do and what we can help with. And we do have our movie event coming up. It's December 12th. And we are looking forward to that. We will have some nice events going on other than that, though.
So I know we already talked a little bit about why you joined SGA, but what does the process of joining look like, and what would you say to anyone who may be considered joining?
So if you consider joining, I definitely would say do it. Clearly there's something in you that wants to spark a change. And the process would really be reaching out to our student body president, John Taylor, and maybe asking to sit in on one of our meetings so you can see what it really is like. And then if you do decide after that meeting that you do want to join, you can contact him about the process of joining or one of your class representatives.
So I know that the numbers have been low for SGA, and to the point where you haven't been like hosting elections or anything like that. So if the numbers like come up, will you consider bringing it back, hosting elections?
I do believe so, because if a lot of people do want to run for the same position and are really butting heads with, no, I want to be president, I'm not moving down, I'm not moving anything else, then we would have to move to an election.
So, lastly, if someone wanted to join or contact SGA for whatever reason, how would they go about doing that?
So you can contact us through our Instagram pages at Curry SGA or the Curry SGA Class of 2023. And we also have an email of Curry SGA 2023 at, curry.edu. And otherwise, you can join our presence page, and we will update you there as well.
Well, thank you for coming on the show today. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us today. I'm Chris Wilder, and please join us again for another edition of Curry Talks.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Andres Haas, and welcome to Curry Talks. I'm your host, and this is the program where we learn more about people in the Curry community. Today's guest is Vinnie Eruzione, the athletic director here at Curry. He's here today to talk about our athletics program and how he envisions the future for Curry athletics. Welcome, Vinnie.
Thank you, Andre.
First, we know how important athletics are here at Curry, with nearly a quarter of our undergrads participating in at least one varsity sport. In your history with Curry athletics, what kind of impact would you say our student athletics program has on the community?
Well, I've been here for 23 years now, and we have over 400 student athletes on our campus, which you alluded to in saying that about a quarter of our students here are student athletes. I think the impact that they have on our campus is within the community, being able to get all of our students to our games and to support each other. I also think that our student athletes are great role models on our campus. We're always teaching them to do the right thing, and for them to be involved, whether it's community service-wise or in the classroom or around campus. So I think their impact is very big on our campus.
I fully agree. In your history with, sorry about that. And we know how much COVID has affected everything this past year involving athletics, among other things. How difficult has it been to continue to manage all 15 of our men and women's teams during this time?
Very difficult for sure. Every day would give us a different challenge. You had to make sure that you crossed the T's and dotted the I's at all times. As you probably know, last fall we didn't play any sports at all because of COVID, and in the winter season we only played very few sports. Teams played games because of COVID. We practiced and we had to keep an eye on our testing. We tested every week, and what happened was, if somebody tested positive, we'd have to stop practice, take a week off. So it was very difficult, and being able to keep our students engaged, whether it was with practice or whether it was in the weight room or whether it was a student strength and conditioning things that we did, it made it really hard because not only did we have to wear masks, but we had to test and we had to keep updated on all the different guidelines that were going on campus and off campus.
I can only imagine. We are definitely lucky to have you over here. On another note, how important is it, is the recruiting process for athletes here at Curry, and how can students here support that process?
Well, the recruiting is probably the most important part of all of our coaches. Our enrollment numbers need to be up, and for us to be able to be a viable institution, we need to bring students here. So recruiting for our student athletes and recruiting for our coaches is extremely important. One way that the regular student population can help us out with recruiting is to spread the word. Tell them what a great college this is, tell them what a great time you're having here. That would only help in our recruiting process. Our coaches go out and bring in probably close to 200 incoming freshmen yearly to our campus, and so recruiting is extremely important.
Well, we'll have to wrap it up. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I'm Andres Haas, and this was Curry Talks. Stay in tune for another edition next time.
Thank you. I appreciate it.